This is the First Descendant. We're here on Xbox Series S. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is a free-to-play looter shooter with a co-op focus for up to 4 players. It's sort of in the vein of, like, I guess you would say Destiny and or Warframe, where you are going about gathering loot, shooting enemies, destroying stuff, and fighting this, like, other dimensional realm of enemies and creatures and stuff like that. And on the Series S, we actually have some very interesting kind of, I guess you would say, tech at play. And we're going to be diving into that and talking about it here. But I wanted to show it off and give you an idea of things running on the Series S at the current point in time for the launch. So it's an Unreal Engine 5 game, which means we kind of get the bells and the whistles of the, well, I guess you would say the top-of-the-line technology. Although it does seem the Series S is missing out on things. So it's looking like it's doing a temporal scaling to 1440p, which means the internal resolution is going to be quite a bit lower than that, obviously, which I think makes complete sense. If you're familiar with UE5 games, they always have a lot of fidgety upscaling in order to achieve higher resolutions. And we've got a few different game, like, graphical options. So it's like 60 FPS kind of targeting. We've got 3 different settings which we have to choose from the main menu, which we'll be backing out and showing that off here. And then we got frame gen, which actually helps quite a bit in regards to actually bumping us up towards 60 FPS and beyond, depending on the graphical mode and how, I guess you would say, challenging that particular graphical mode is to, I guess you would say, the situation at hand, because there is aggressive resolution scaling and just kind of like changes to this one. So it seems like the ray tracing is missing from this version of the game. We still have the HDR support, the spatial sound support, the Dolby Atmos, the DTS:X, and we have also the console keyboard and mouse support. So you are able to enjoy that with this game. And, again, keep in mind YouTube doesn't support frame rates above 60 FPS, so you're not really seeing the full scope of things, but you can definitely notice that, you're probably going to notice some performance drops here or there as it kind of dips a bit along the way. But let's go to the main menu, and we'll show off some of the other graphical options by doing so. Now, also keep in mind that with this game, you kind of pick between a few characters. So there's sort of like these 3 preset descendants at the current point in time. I have Frost Woman. There's also, well, she's got the great assets, what can I say? But there's also like a dude that like does grenading, like he shoots grenades. And then there's also some other person that does like void damage. We're going to do fidelity, and we're going to have this off. There's also your FOV, if you want to adjust that, as that is a setting that is available. And let's start the game and go back into it. So it's kind of like little open world kind of things, little sections that you move between. It's got like a neat selection of particle effects in its combat and style. You're kind of fending off against an alien invasion. If you're worried about the weird frame rate, that just seems to be the thing in the hub world, I guess, in order to keep performance going here. All the characters move at like half the frames, which is really, really weird, but that's just for this sort of hub area, Albion, which is our homeworld section, and then we're going to go to Kingston and go back into the combat, because this is like our initial sort of starting combat area. So again, it's kind of like the vein of Destiny, where you've got like these different sections that you go and you do shooting and fighting in. So you're fighting the Vulgus. It's got some pretty high-end, like, real-time cutscenes, basically. Like, there was one that really surprised me where literally it was like cutscene to gameplay, but there was no actual like shift, if that makes sense. Like, it literally was just literally moving between, the cutscene right into gameplay. Usually there's like a little chop delay or something like that, but just smoothly transitioned into it, and I was really blown away by that aspect of it. But yeah, you can tell she's got great assets going on, which are proudly displayed. And so yeah, the fidelity mode here, so this is kind of maxing out our resolution, but you can kind of tell that the frame rate definitely takes a bit of a hit on this one, needless to say. Usually there's enemies everywhere, but I'm wondering if that's because I've kind of cleared them out, or other players maybe have. That could be a big thing. And then we can turn on the frame gen, which will help us improve the, I guess you would say, the performance to a degree. And keep in mind, for frame gen to kind of be working, it is going to, like, to a degree, impact the image fidelity and stuff like that. That's how it kind of does its scaling and everything. But yeah, this one looks... It does look better, but I don't know if it's quite worth the kind of hit to the performance kind of levels that you feel in this one. Like, it's not too bad, but I would definitely say that going for the balance mode or the performance mode, to me, kind of seems like the ideal way to go in this game in terms of, like, I guess you would say actually getting like a decent level of performance and stuff. And keep in mind that these are not even like necessarily hectic scenarios going on. It's actually like a pretty calm sort of part of the game overall, I would say. But there's, if you're wondering about gameplay, like there's actually like, you know, I'd be triggering missions and stuff right now, but because I'm switching through the different game modes, not really the ideal thing to do. And like I said, you can play with a group of like 4 players and stuff like that and do things. And it's like a passive multiplayer as well. So you've actually got like groups of individuals that you will be coming across, if that makes sense, which is neat. So we're going to go to the performance mode and we're going to turn the frame gen off and we're going to start and get right into it. Yeah, they got like an opening area where you're sort of locked to the balance mode when the game first starts, but you can immediately notice that it's a huge increase in the fluidity level of the game when you go into the actual performance mode, which is kind of great. Yeah, this is well beyond the 60 FPS threshold. Even here in this area where it's like, you know, most of your stuff runs at lower frame rates, like your characters and stuff, it's kind of amazing in that too. I'm really looking forward to diving into this more too. So stay tuned for, like, I guess you would say streams and coverage and whatnot of this one, with it being released here, as it is the hot new looter shooter kind of game. But for here, you can definitely tell that the threshold is, like, lowered quite a bit for resolution. Like, obviously, the performance level is, like, the fluidity is bumped, like, way up. And then I think with frame gen, we can go a little higher even on top of that. But just, as I said, keep in mind, like, your resolution is going to, your resolution is just going to be, like, so kind of, like, tanked to the point where it's, like, really murky. Like, this is greatly sub 1080p with this one. I think 1080p actually looks like it's probably the threshold kind of thing here. Anyways, let's do the mission over here, and then we'll probably go and show off the balance mode after this as well, but I wanted to give you a good idea of the performance mode and just like the fluidity level you do actually get here. So like if you're okay with the game kind of being kind of murky, like I don't know how well this shows up on the YouTube for you, but it is quite a murky visual experience when you do drop it down to this level. But if you are fine with that, it does actually, like, you know, run really, really smoothly. So this is something that might be an option for you. And that's the whole point here, is to kind of give you the idea of, like, the different modes, so you can sort of be like, oh, I want to go with this, or I want to go with that. That's what we're kind of aiming towards, at least, with showcasing this game off. And giving you an idea of things here on the Series S. This is actually, like, a pretty good, like, presentation for this game, if that makes sense. Like, this actually is one of the better UE5 things, especially for the Series S. I'm kind of surprised that this is delivering as well as it does for the Series S side of things. It's kind of a little amazing for, you know, the Series S, because usually, you know, like UE5, well, in general, UE5 buckles the modern consoles, right? Like, it just absolutely is such a problem for our modern hardware, which is kind of funny. Really looking forward to seeing this game and other UE5 games on the next-gen consoles when those eventually come. But yeah, this is not at all a bad experience. I'm actually kind of sort of into this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun when I sit there and kind of, like, fully dive into this, if that makes sense. Like, when I fully kind of get going. Is this guy doing it too? Do I have to like wait?
Oh, we almost lost the last one.
Okay, here we go.
Send it.
Let's do this mission.
Bunny in the theater.
There's also lots of
I'll send a sit rep
customization for your character.
communicator.
So you can change how she looks. Well, there's not lots of customization. You have to buy customization. But, yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like, you can get, like, a maid outfit and stuff for her. It's pretty snazzy, I will say. Yeah, and that was the kind of thing where I was... Sorry, the lack of customization is kind of an issue for me, because you have to... And I get it's a free-to-play game, so you need to buy stuff, but it would have been cool to, like, I don't know, change, like, hair color or something like that, but they're selling all of the... Like, I don't really... I feel like you were, like, playing, like, a few preset characters, and they're not really giving you any personalization, which is usually a big thing for, like, role-playing games like this. But the personalization I was really trying to get to was more in the sense of, like, you building up your class, as to say, in terms of, like, the guns and weapons you get, and the modifications, because there's all these mod slots that you can adjust in order to essentially, like, customize your abilities and your damage and the way you do things in battle, which is kind of exciting. Mission complete. Received orders from HQ. Yeah, I bet we did. And then we gotta go talk to a bunch of people. See mission results. Yeah. Okay, just give it to me now. We did a great job out there. High fives all around, guys. So we're going to back out. Or actually, let's show off the customization first. So there's like weapon skins and everything like that you can buy. And then, like I said, you can get all these different outfits. You could be like a shark thing, the maid thing, which... Honestly, yeah, I'd probably go for this if I had some in-game item points or whatever. You could do like a shark thing and stuff. And I'm assuming that's kind of gonna be the big thing, is like... Yeah, they're just gonna charge you for all this kind of stuff. See, you can do all these colors and everything, and... Yeah, you gotta buy all this stuff. And then there's weapon skins, and you can change your like name card and grappling hook, and yeah, they've kind of monetized it to the hilt, which honestly is not a huge shocker. Like, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like I said, it's a free-to-play kind of game, and looks like there's a lot of content and stuff like that. It looks like they're more locking you to cosmetic changes, but I don't know, it'd just be nice to at least change like your face up or something like that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing for games. It's like a pretty, to me, it's kind of a bit of a basic sort of option for personalization when you play these games. At least I think so, but yeah. Whatever, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We'll have to see how much it impacts the actual gameplay in the long term. It's going to be the big thing, right? So there's cool abilities, cool dimensional things. The world kind of gets a little crazy. Utilizing UE5 essentially just means like they've got all the cutting edge tech that makes our games kind of run bad but look kind of good at the same time. It's really quite weird. Where is Bunny at? Bunny, where are you? There is a lot of random icons and stuff like that. Bunny is not over there. Can anyone tell me where Bunny is? Like, you've got to be kidding me. Awards and completion, that's great. Okay. Bunny is puzzled by the situation. Tracking off, tracking on. Where is Bunny? Am I just supposed to guess where Bunny is? She could be anywhere. Yeah, we had a pretty epic opening there with Bunny as we did all kinds of crazy combat stuff. I'm assuming they're in the chatting HQ room? Is this so weird to me? No? They're not here at all? This is Nell. There's all these different characters. It looks like there's a world of stuff going on, but they don't really... I don't know, it's not really fully explained yet. You're just kind of like thrown into the situation, stuff like that, and you kind of just make do with it. But yeah, this is basically like any MMORPG thing where you've got like this hub world where you know, kind of interact with stuff. Meet with Bunny at the outpost. You know what? I bet she's not even here and she's actually at... Yeah, she's actually going to be at the outpost, isn't she? Yeah, that's on me for not realizing. I thought she was in Albion. I didn't realize she was at the outpost out in the city we're fighting for. It's kind of cool seeing all these like decrepit places that are all like destroyed and stuff. It's kind of neat. So there is like a little bit of a story, but
Did you just hear something?
yeah, Bunny's kind of crazy. Okay.
This doesn't feel good. Oh,
Bunny's suit, nice to see you all. She kind of looks like Diva, right? Just kind of like Diva changed up. Bunny stabilizer stuff. Okay, very well.
We need to clear
It does also seem to still have the signature UE5 or Unreal Engine like slow texture loading things sometimes in scenes and cinematics and stuff. I don't know if you've noticed that kind of thing, but yeah, I thought they had kind of cleaned that up for UE5, but that trademark element of the engine still seems to be present. Like if you've been using UE for like a long time or playing UE games for a long time, you can go back to like Unreal Engine 3 or something like that, and yeah, it's really funny because a lot of the games, like Gears of War and stuff, they have like slow loading textures is kind of a big thing for them. So it's kind of funny to see that they still haven't fully like cleaned that up, and it's been generations, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that's always been a UE thing, is slow texture loading. But I mean, you've got like a multiplayer world too, so that could be a part of it as well. It's just like the actual loading over network kind of stuff, right? But yeah, you get some cool abilities, you get some cool stuff set up here. I think people are maybe gonna like this. It seems kind of neat. I definitely don't mind it, that's for sure. You find it's kind of interesting. Well, that person is going over there. Do I have any enemies to kill, or does that enemy that went all the way over there count as someone that I needed to kill, or is there... Oh, you guys are here. Okay, that's nice. Anyways, I think there's a lot of potential with this one. Kind of looking forward to really diving in and sinking my teeth into this, because I've been having some fun with it initially, and I'm just kind of wondering what the full scale of it is. But I was really like, oh, I need to take a look at this on Series S as well and see how it's going, and, you know, kind of enjoy some of the action and whatnot, because, I mean, it's a new free-to-play game. I mean, obviously it's going to be pretty excitement, but I think, honestly, if you really want maximum performance, you're probably going to want to go with the performance mode. It's just going to make things a little bit more muddled. Balance mode is kind of, I think, my preferred kind of option, with perhaps the frame gen on for Series S, as that kind of gives you a decent looking experience that plays decently well. And I think that is sort of the big option in regards to, you know, enjoying the magic of this one and whatnot. I'm gonna switch over to my shotgun. I actually appear to be a little outnumbered here. There's a lot of enemies kind of firing at me. But you get a few different weapons too, and I really didn't show off all the personalization and stuff like that, but like, you really can customize like your setups and stuff. Like, you get quite a few different guns, and you're always like gathering new loot and being able to upgrade stuff, and then you can like get microtransactional things to change how your characters look, and that's a big part of it. And all the loot and stuff you get too along the way is helpful, and you get like so many tries on missions when you die and stuff, and then you have to like restart, and yeah, it's the whole thing on this one. Wow, I can't believe I actually died. That's tragic. The number of available missions. I know. I'm not done yet. It's just because I'm extremely outnumbered in this situation. I still feel like I should have been able to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I should have survived there. Mission complete. It very much is Destiny-like, isn't it, right? Where you're just sort of in this lost kind of world and everything's sort of destroyed. I think it's definitely got some potential, though. It's just, I'm wondering how varied the actual gameplay structure and stuff's going to be once I get into, like, the meat of it, if that makes sense. Once I really start rolling and do some of the more intensive missions and interact with others. But I think there's a lot of potential on Series S. We've actually got some decent modes and some decent ways to play this kind of game, and yeah, I think there's definitely some potential here for this to be interesting, and I'm just going to be curious what other people's thoughts really are on this one and stuff like that. And so far, technically, I would say for the Series S, I'm impressed with what we're getting here. This is a nice little offering for the console, and I'm sure those on the Series S will be happy with this this game mode as well as they dive in and see what this one has to offer. But I hope this was a good look at the game for now.